Hey everyone, welcome to Zero to Cloud, your home for tech and cloud learning. My name is Rakesh, and this is our third video in the Google Cloud Foundational Learning series. So today we are talking about something that powers almost everything inside Google Cloud, the VPC network. And don't worry, we'll make it super simple to understand. So first, understand what is VPC network. So think of it as your private neighborhood inside Google Cloud, where your apps, servers, and databases live safely. Everything you create, like virtual machines, Kubernetes, cluster, or app engines, apps, they all live inside this VPC network and talk to each other privately. So how it works? A VPC is like your own mini internet, but just for you. It lets your system communicate internally and also reach the outside world when needed, but securely. It even has built-in load balancers that spread traffic across your servers, keeping your apps fast and reliable. So now here's the cool part. Your VPC can also connect to your office network or data center using Cloud VPN or Cloud Interconnect. So whether your data is on premises or in the cloud, everything can talk together like one big network. Now we can talk about like what is routing and firewall. So inside a VPC, routes decide where traffic goes, kind of like road signs for data, and firewall rules act like security guards, checking who can enter or leave. The default network already comes in with some rules, but when you build your own custom VPC, you will create your own rules, giving you full control. So every project in Google Cloud can have multiple VPC network. When you are just starting out, the default network is perfect to play around with. But once you are comfortable, switch to custom mode VPC, where you pick your own regions, IP ranges, and security setup. So yeah, your VPC network is basically the backbone of Google Cloud, secure, flexible, and powerful. So I'll now we can dive into the our practical labs, and I will be showing you how we can create a VPC network with firewall rules and routing. So we have already logged into our Google Cloud Console. Now we'll look for a VPC service, VPC network. So here is the VPC network. Click on that. So you can see there is one VPC network already available that is default. So this is already created by Google. Like whenever you create a GCP project, Google automatically creates one default VPC network named with default. So we'll click on the default VPC network. In the description, you can see that default network for the project. Dynamic routing mode is regional. Subnet creation was auto subnet. So whenever Google creates default VPC network, it will always be auto subnets. It will never be a custom one. So we'll click on subnet tab. So you will see for each region there is a subnetwork created. Subnets are created. So you can see that. So it is all created by Google with specific IP ranges. And also there will be few default firewall rules also created by Google. So when you click on this, so you can see there are 4 firewall rules are there. Default, allow RDP. RDP is used for connecting to Windows machine on 3389 port number. Allow ICMP. The ICMP is used for ping, like whenever you want to ping a server, so you have to allow this role. Default allow SSH. SSH is whenever you want to putty to Linux servers. So in that case, you need to allow this role, and it works on protocol TCP and port 22. So there is one more rule, default allow internet. So they have allowed this on this particular port number TCP 0265 and UDP role. So now what we'll do, we'll create two networks. One is like with auto subnet work enabled, and another one is custom. And so that I'll explain you what's the difference between both of them and why that is needed. So click on create VPC network. Okay, so I'll give you the VPC one. And we'll click on automatic because we'll want to create automatic. So it also says these IP ranges will be assigned to each region in your VPC network. When an instance is created, your VPC network, it will assign an IP from appropriate region address range. Okay. So for Europe, this is the range. US restaurant, this is the range. And these are the default firewall routes. So you need to click on if you want to get them created. So let's say we want to have ICMP and only SSH because we only want to deploy Linux servers, not the Windows servers. So that's the reason I'm only want to use SSH rule and the ICMP rule. So there are two options, regional or global. So we'll click regional as it is, and we'll keep legacy default as it is and click on create. So meanwhile, I will also create custom one as well. So get demo VPC custom. So we'll keep this custom as it is. So what's the difference? So whenever you click on custom, in that case, you need to create the subnet. So you need to give the name demo subnet. You need to select region. Let's have selected US West one. So you can give an example, a range also, time dots. And few other options as well. If you want private Google access, yes or no, flow logs, hybrid subnets. So we'll keep everything as it is for now. We'll use some rules which are already there. We'll use SSH, or maybe I'll show you how to create this firewall rules manually. So we'll keep it as regional and all other stuff default. Click on create. Okay, so meanwhile, our default, the one which we have used auto subnet that has been created, we'll click on that. So yeah, as you can see, the name demo VPC1, it's auto subnets, regional. So there are two subnets only because we only selected two subnets for two regions. And then in the firewall, so you can see VPC firewall rules. So this one, demo VPC1. So there are two firewall rules which we have created, one for SSH and other one for ICMP. SSH for SSH into Linux VMs, and ICMP is for pinging the VMs. And we'll check if our other one is created. Yes, so we can see that the other one is also created. So you can see that difference here. One of the difference is subnet creation mode. So here it says custom subnets, and in that in the other VPC network, it says auto subnetwork. So it automatically creates the subnetworks, and custom means you manually create the subnetworks. So in the subnets, you can see there is only one subnet which we have created with this range, And in firewall, you'll see there are no rules because we haven't created any. So see, you can see there are no rules because we haven't created it. We will manually create it. So before we go ahead and create the rules, I will explain you like what's the difference between the auto subnet and the custom one. The auto means like uh, you don't want to you don't know like which, or you don't want to decide this IP range you want to use. So what you ask Google to automatically decide based on the reason. Okay, yeah, you can use this subnetwork for this reason and all those stuff. So as you can see in the demo VPC 1.1, so in the subnetwork, so we just asked Google to create this ranges. So we haven't manually provided it. So it automatically created by Google. In the other hand, when we use custom subnetwork, so in that case, we have to manually enter the subnet name, what range we want to give. So let's say when you want to do some basic demo or you want to understand basic what VPC is, how subnet works. So in that case, use the default subnet, default VPC which already provided by Google, or you can create uh, auto subnets. So in that case, you don't have to worry about creating subnets and which reason you want to create, what IP you have to give. So everything will be done automatically. But let's say in production environment, or you already know about VPC subnet and everything, and you want to learn more. So in that case, you can use custom subnetwork, manually enter the name of the subnetwork, manually enter the range, and you can decide what firewall rules you want to create. So this is the difference between custom and auto subnetworks. So now I'll show you like how we can create a firewall rule. So it's very easy. Click on firewall. So come here. You can see there are two options. One is policy and rule. So we'll create firewall rule. So while creating the firewall rule, one thing you have to uh, keep noticing, like in which VPC network you are creating that firewall rule. So that's the important thing. So as you can see, I'll give you the name custom custom firewall rule. Logs are kept as off for now. So here you can see that in the network tab, you need to decide which VPC firewall you want to use. So we want to use demo VPC custom is the network name. Priority, keep it as 100. Ingress and egress. So there are two things. Ingress means incoming rule, egress from outgoing rule. Ingress means, like for example, if you have a VM, a, a traffic coming to your VM is called ingress, or traffic going from your VM to outside called as egress rule. And then there is allow and deny. So based on these rule, what it should do, like let's say if you have created one ingress rule to your VM, let's say specific IP, let's say you have particular IP and you want to allow that range to connect with your VPC. So in that case, you will create one ingress rule so that that particular IP will connect to your VM, and in that case you need to select allow so that it will connect. Let's say you have particular range and you don't want from that particular range of IP your VM should be connected. So in that case you use deny rule so that anytime that traffic comes in from that particular IP range, it will deny the traffic. So the allow and deny is used for these cases. So in the later video, I will also showing you by creating one VM with all this setting, ingress, egress rule, allow and deny. And then based on that, I will also show you an example how particular IP traffic is getting blocked or particular traffic is getting allowed. So I will also explain you in the later videos as well. So here we have options, target, specified target tags. So for now, I'll keep it as all instance in network. Source, we can keep it as like 00. I had 10 extra. Okay, so this means 0000/0 means it is allowed to connect with any IP range. As per security point of view, this is uh, we don't want to use this rule anywhere in our organization, because this giving the ability of any IP to connect to your VM. But as this is a test lab, I'm showing you the demo. So I'm adding 0000/0 to this. And now I'll in the protocol and port section, I'll keep allow all, and I'll click on create. So by this firewall rule means any IP, any range of IP can communicate to your VM. So yeah, this firewall rule is created. Okay, so this one is created now. Okay, okay. Now you have seen like how I have created a firewall rule. So now what we'll do, I think I have already created 2 instances, and we'll see how those firewall rules affect a VM's working. Like when we can, how we can SSH, because of what rules we can SSH. If we want to ping any servers, how we can do that. So we will understand. So I've already created 2 VMs here. One is using one. The name of VM is default VPC. That means it is using Google's default VPC, and another one is custom VPC VM. So before we start, I'll remove the firewall rule which we have created for the default one, so that I can explain you like how the difference in VM that is created in default VPC network and the custom VPC network. So what's the difference? So first of all, I'll go ahead and delete the firewall rule which we have created previously. Click on firewall. And so we have created this one. Okay. So I'll go ahead and delete it. So we'll delete this. So it's deleting the firewall root. Okay, so successfully deleted the firewall. So now we'll try to log in into both the VMs which we have created. So we'll come into VM instance. So this default VPC VM created in the default VPC network that Google has created, which has all the firewall rules already placed. So we'll try to SSH this. So SSH means I'm trying to log in into this VM. Okay, so I'm successfully logged into default VPC VM. Now let's try login into custom VPC VM. It is created under custom VPC network. Click on SSH the same way. So see, we are not able to, like, it's taking so much time to log in into that VM. But in the default VM case, it logged in like within 30 seconds. But here it is taking longer time. Do, can you think why it is taking longer, or will we able to log in into this VM? Or if we are not, then why? So see, it will not able to log in because there is no firewall rules which allow this SSH to log in, because we have no rules. So now we'll see, we'll add a rule. So what rules we need here? Go into VPC. So we'll go into demo VPC custom. So as it has no rules, that means how this VM will have SSH, because there is no rules added. So in this case, we have to add one SSH rule. Then only we will able to log in into that VM. So we have to add one rule. It's custom VM SSH. So we are not able to SSH. So we'll add one rule. That is, network will be same demo VPC custom ingress, like to connect to VM. Allow, we'll keep it allow. For now, we'll keep all instance in the network. Source range will give 0. Okay. So here we have to enable TCP port, and then you need to use 22, because on 22 port we can SSH. Click on create. So as you can see that like we are not able to log in into this, but let's wait to get that rule created first, and then we'll retry again, or maybe we'll cancel this and start again. Okay, successfully created the firewall rule. So now let's try retry. That's it. As you can see, now we were able to log in to this VM so fast and successfully. So I hope you get it, like how this firewall rule works, and so what benefit it offers, like because you can filter out based on the IP, you can filter out based on the tags. As you can see, while creating the network, we had multiple options while creating the firewall rules. So it is very useful in the production, or the VMs which are there in your organization. So in that case, they use firewall rule with all this filtration, because as you can see here, we can have different options, specified target tags. So we can have a tags. So tags means whatever. So only the VMs that can connect to this, or any other resource which will have this particular tags. Or there is other options such as specified service account. So there are different things you can, based on that you can customize, and based on that you can log in. We'll do one more test before we wrap up. Okay, now we are able to log in into both the instances, and even SSH is working. Now I'll try to ping in both the instances. First I'll try to ping the instance which is part of default VPC network. So I'll try to ping Google server. It's okay, so it's working. It should work on custom VPC VM as well. So I'll try to do that. Ping. Okay, so yeah, you can see both on both the instances, the ping command is working. So that is what I expected, because we have added the role in the custom VPC VM as well, right? Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll try to host a basic website like through Nginx on both these servers, and we'll try to see if we are able to view the basic page of Nginx. So how we can do that? So I'll do sudo apt update. First, I'll update the instance. Similarly on other instance as well. Okay, it's that. I'll try to deploy the Nginx app. Apt install Nginx. Why? Sudo apt install Nginx. What? Okay, so Nginx have been installed on both the servers. So now I'll try to access the Nginx public URL. I mean, it's a basic page which Nginx offer. Like after you deploy the Nginx on your server, so I will try to see if we can access that. So how we can access that using public IP of that particular VM, we can access it. So we'll try to see if we can access it or not. So do HTTP and the IP. Okay, similarly, I'll also check for other as well. So you can see that like both the for both the instances, the Nginx page is not loading. So what could be the issue? We'll go and check the groups like the firewall rules. If there are anything we need to add to fix this issue. So we'll go to firewall rule. Let's say first I'll check for the default. So this is the default VPC. So we'll try to check the firewall rule. So as we are trying to access this on HTTP, that means it's a port 80. HTTP is a port 80, and for HTTPS, it's a port 443. So we'll see if the traffic is allowed on port 80 or not. Okay, so first of all, we'll try to see if it on port 80 you see. There is no traffic is allowed on port 80. Due to that, we are not able to see the basic web page. So we'll try to add the traffic for port 80 so that the basic Nginx web page to load. So we'll try that in default VPC first. Load. Okay, let's try HTTP rule. So we'll keep it as Android ingress allow. We'll keep it as all instance sources. And here we'll use TCP port 80. We'll click on create. Okay, so it's created. Now we'll try again. See, now you can see the welcome to Nginx page is loaded. Why? Because we have added that particular firewall rule in the VPC so that it will allow the traffic. It will allow the traffic for side which are trying to load the Nginx. So similarly, as of now, like the custom VPC VM, it's still not working because we haven't added the firewall rule in that particular VP. So we'll add that as well. So we'll go to demo VPC custom VPC. We'll go to firewall, add firewall rule, HTTP rule, HTTP rule. Our instance will give the range. Now the TCP port 180 and click on create. Okay, it's already in use, so we'll just click HTTP rule 1. Okay, it's been created now. So we'll just try to refresh this as well. And here we go. You can see that the welcome to engineering page is loaded. So that means so now you will understand, like, using firewall rule, how we can block the traffic as well as we can allow the traffic. So this is all we had for today's session, where we have explained you what is VPC, what is auto subnet, custom subnet, what is a routing, what is firewall, and even I've shown you a hands-on lab on like how to create VPC firewall rule and creating instance, and how we can allow those traffic to work. So thank you.